And now, segue, I guess, same group of people, but they just, I think, released this video 3 days ago. And it was all about, was it honey hunters? So it's, I think the first time I heard of this was from a Joe Rogan podcast. But there are people in the Himalayas, up in that area, up in, trying to think what country that is. Ooh, damn it. 1 second. I'm gonna figure this out because I know this, but my brain has shut off slightly. So I'm gonna 1 second. I'm on a map. It is in Nepal. Up in Nepal. And they went to this small town to basically find and meet some of these honey hunters, and it's a dying art. It's something that I think they were saying roughly, and even in that village, been doing for about 260 years, 300 years roughly, possibly depending on where you are. But the honey itself is like the most rare honey ever. It's not grown. It's made by these bees that make honey in hives on these like hundreds of feet high cliffs in the middle of these Himalayan jungles in the middle of nowhere and in the most dangerous places. And it's like some of the most rare honey in the world. And this honey is psychedelic. And the whole reason is because they consume what flower is it? Damn it, I didn't remember. But it's a flower that only grows at certain altitudes that has psychedelic effects. But so it's psychedelic honey, and so they use it as medicine and other things, and just in general, regular honey is very good for you. So it's good, it's cool, but it's very rare. And so they went to this village for 3 or 4 days. Maybe, no, I think it took them 4 days just to get to the village, and then they were there for 3 days. So they're in this most remote thing I've ever seen. And it was so beautiful too, but I think they had to travel 10 miles by road after flying in to then hike 4 hours just to get to the town in this village in the middle of nowhere. And they meet the only and possibly the last honey hunter in this village that they ended up in, because there's no one being trained to replace them. And these guys will go on these hunts, and he's the main one that does the job. He gets picked by the local shaman, but they send a group of people to obviously help because it's a long hike. They got to camp, and then he needs a team of people basically to help him extract and get the honey out safely, because it's not a job for one person. But they kind of follow him through this journey and kind of learn about it. And the crazy thing is, even the people that they brought with them couldn't communicate with some of the people from the village because it's a different language because of the region they were in the country. It was a different language than just regular Nepalese, I think that's what it's called, their language. But so they go on this like 2 or 3 day journey to get to where this honey is, and this honey hunter has to climb 200 feet up this bamboo handcrafted ladder, and to cut off these giant chunks of honeycomb by hand and retrieve it and bring it down. And one thing, I think the thing that was the most surprising to me is I didn't think about it. For some reason, when I think of Nepal and the mountains, I don't think jungle first thing. I mean, because I think when I think of the Himalayan mountains, I think of Mount Everest, and it's like really high up and it's freezing cold and all this. it's a tropical jungle where they're living, and it was ridiculous, the stuff they were dealing with. Everybody seemed to be getting leeches in the most random places, which I didn't totally understand because leeches are typically in water, but I didn't see them necessarily go in a lot of water, so I was kind of confused by that. But everybody was getting leeches, and so they're on this cliff that's probably 300 feet in the air, and they have to go extract this honey, and it was very amazing to see and witness